Hey guys, welcome to Cars and Health Bars. I hope you enjoyed our new intro. I'm kind of working with some formatting, but yeah, on today's episode, what we have for you guys is we're going to be talking about scams all the way around in the gaming and cars community, but we're going to space it out kind of like we normally do, half and half. With that being said, let's get right into the episode. So, I've got a few top of the show items I want to talk about before we get into the meat and potatoes of everything. So, over the past week, I've been communicating with a few of larger podcasts in our automotive community, and I actually made contact with the Drag Driver Pete podcast. And if you guys don't know, that podcast is main focus is the drag and drive events, which I've gone on and on about in the early days of the podcast. I always advocated shoot. I think I even asked like most racing guests if they would ever do one if there was one local, if you remember. But yeah, this is our announcement for that. We are going to be on their podcast on the 15th, live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They have a 2 hour long live podcast. We'll be on towards the tail end of it just because we're not dragon drivers, which is very generous for them to still allow us to come onto their platform and kind of boost us up. And it sounds like we're going to have a pretty good relationship with this podcast. They seem like they really want to connect with us, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's nice to have the collaboration between, different groups of people. We're all like minded. So it's just nice
He
to get out there.
he was definitely pushing us to do some dragon drives, which I'm sure he's going to be talking to us about during his show, which I'm not opposed to. But my car, I know you guys don't quite know what's going on in my car yet, but my days of drag racing are going to be on very, very, very postponed until we reconfigure some things. We'll just leave it at that. But speaking of those guys, the Drag and Drive podcast guys are going to be on our show the following. So the same week that their podcast is, of course, theirs is live, ours is not. So we'll be on their podcast live on Wednesday. And then that following Friday, your episode will be a full interview of them. We'll have them hopefully for the full 45 to an hour. We'll see how much time they have. They're very busy guys. So, it's going to be awesome to just have them do a deep dive on themselves, the drag and drive community, what they've built, what they've become. And if you don't know, of course, the Drag and Drive Repeat guys, they were actually the podcast that was airing during PRI. I mean, they were in the podcast booth the whole entire time during PRI. Like, that is goals right there.
For real.
Like it's incredible that we were able to snag them, and I'm so excited to work with them. And man, it's makes me even more excited for next year's PRI. Just like be able to meet them in
Yeah,
person
for
and hang
sure.
out with them. Golly, imagine if we got in that booth during PRI.
That'd
That'd
be
be a dream
dope.
come true. Yeah, like uh, okay, few more things we have here at the top of the show, and this is kind of depending, so just definitely follow and turn on notifications. But depending on if Jordan goes into work Saturday, of course we're getting ready to get hit with some pretty inclement weather, so depending on that, we're looking to host our live game winter games tournament tomorrow, or well, no, it'll be tonight for you all. Sorry, my bad. But it'll be tonight for you all if we have it. Just make sure you follow the Snapchat. I'll probably post notifications there. And of course, follow the YouTube because that's where it will be streamed at. And yeah, go follow the YouTube for sure because that's where we're going to be at. If nobody's there, if there's 1,000 people there, regardless, the video will be there for your viewing pleasure. If you don't catch the live, I understand. A lot of stuff going on Friday nights. But if you're snowed in like we probably will be, go ahead and kick on the live stream and enjoy watching me and Jordan duke it out. He's so competitive, and I'm ready. I'm ready to knock him down a notch. One last thing here. We kind of have a small announcement. Possibly going to get, well, it's not possibly, it is happening. Jordan's getting a webcam, so we're probably going to be experimenting with some video episodes, which of course if you listen to audio only, you're still going to be able to do that. But if you've been wanting that video podcast experience, we're probably going to be experimenting with that. They'll definitely be on next episode for their episode for sure because they do video podcasts. But yeah, from here on out, we're probably going to be experimenting, and it might stick, it might not. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to do that. I wish my setup was a little nicer, though. That's the only thing. Man, I got to step it up a notch.
That's why you gotta get that green screen like I got. I'm just gonna throw some random stuff in the background. We might do a garage.
I want
Not
a
even mine.
I want a real setup. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I feel that, dude. I'm jealous of those guys that got like a light strip going around their room and like low lighting, got that cool like posters
Yeah.
up and stuff. I always
One
told
day.
myself
One day.
if I ever just get like ungodly money, like if you ever built yourself an office, I'd be buying you that record of Slim Shady, like where it's got a man. What used to be? You really wanted one. I can't remember if it. Oh, it's this tie that's in a picture frame. I remember you always wanted that. And I was like, it's so expensive. I'm like, if I hit it big, the homie getting that.
Dude, I want all the cool vinyls.
All the cool vinyls. Uh,
And then I need like parts off C7Rs.
your office is gonna look like the lobby to Texas Roadhouse in Bowling Green.
Yeah, Corvettes hanging up.
Yeah, Corvette signatures, everything signed. Isn't Busby's signature on one of those parts? It wouldn't surprise me.
I need one by Dale
Oh my god.
doing it for the real hero.
So what kind of got us on this topic to begin with was we kind of teased at an argument as far as like buying pre-distilled water or no pre-diluted coolant is a scam, and I teased this question to our Snapchat fans, and there was some pushback on that argument.
What?
Yeah, there was some pushback for sure. Of course, there were a lot of people that said, you're paying a premium for water, and like you got more control over your mixture, and that kind of stuff. But
I
there,
mean,
there
I'll say, yeah, if you want a pure 50-50 mix, but
well, a lot of people are arguing that the convenience is the main reason they buy that fifty
no
fifty
shot.
is how way they could just dump the bottle right in there. They don't have to measure or do nothing. They just dump it in and go.
I mean, to each their own, but I'm not spending the money for that.
And one person went so far to say most people mistake tap water for putting in their coolant. And tap water, of course, contains minerals, which can lead to like scaling and
Yeah,
corrosion in the
but
coolant system.
if you like drive something that you're that worried about, you're probably not gonna buy the. You're probably not gonna put just tap water in it anyways. But I mean, for every Joe Schmo, it's gonna be tap water. It's
Yeah.
what 90% of shops do. It's not like it's frowned upon.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at it purely from a cost standpoint. I mean, it's just dumb to pay money for water, and I mean, it's just
Yeah, I mean, I put tap water in my Camaro if that makes any difference, and we see the condition it's in. It certainly isn't, corroded real badly or nothing.
I feel like just some people. Well, this guy for sure. He said, calling it a scam is an overstatement because it provides a real benefit to some users, such as like people that are like too lazy to, mix their own stuff up or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I get it to a certain point, but I don't know. I just don't like. It's something I got at home. Is where I'm at. And do we even know it's distilled water in that coolant? I mean,
You're saying it might be a scam in a scam?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think it depends on the brand for sure. Your cheaper coolant, like a O'Reilly's brand coolant, I don't know. This is just a guess. It could be tap water. I don't know. So, how hard is it to? It's so hard to know, right? Like you don't just know. So, like, it's just water. That's how I
You're
look
not
at it.
wrong. And the whole argument of like buying water, it's definitely a valid point. I mean, it is. That's what you're doing. Granted, water does have a price, but I mean, you turn on a faucet, it don't cost nothing compared to what you're paying
Yeah,
for at the store.
your water meter ain't gonna move by turning on a gallon of water.
You would be surprised how much water you could use at your house and like you not notice. Be like, yeah, I had a water leak like real bad, and it's just like $50
Oh, my
extra.
bill was $50 more or whatever.
Anyways, let's get into. I have a little bit more of direct scams pulled up as far as companies go, instead of like general things like the coolant scandal that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Uh, I want to know if you know about the Ford Pinto scam
What
about the
scam
fuel
about
tank.
them? Yeah, I do know this.
Ford knowingly sold the Pinto with a gas tank prone to rupture and rear end collisions,
Yeah,
causing.
because it was like not at the bottom. It was a dumb placement for the fuel tank.
Well, what's messed up is Ford. I mean, Ford had to have known about this.
Yeah,
Like,
they. I mean, they are mandated, I think, to do collision testing before they release it.
dude, they recalled 1.5 million units. That is insane.
Dude, Ford is a king of recalls.
But they don't use your tax dollars. This is a more recent one. I actually I had to educate myself on this one. It's Dieselgate, a Volkswagen emissions scandal,
Oh, I know all about
2015.
that.
Really? Yeah.
Fuck
So
yeah.
for those who don't know, Volkswagen installed a what they call defeat device, and essentially it cheats the emission system. And the car, in reality, was emitting 40 times the legal pollution limit during normal driving. 40
Yeah.
times. That's insane.
But you know what? It ran good.
Dude, it charged them 30 billion in fines and settlements and criminal charges against the executives. Like, oof. That is insane, man.
Yeah, I knew about that. That's the years that you don't buy.
Like they knowingly cheated the emissions. Like, granted, we're not in a state where we have to do emissions, but I'm sure it'll be here one day. Still, golly, that's insane.
Yeah, I agree.
What about the Yugo cars? Did you see anything about them?
I don't. I mean, I know they're junk.
I mean, you know what they are though, like the Yugoslovakian car that was
Yeah,
like, yeah, okay. I mean, it in
I
and of
know they're
itself was a scam.
notoriously unreliable.
Yeah, I mean, it was a like laughing stock. Cause sales were horrible. Like it just, I don't even know why it's on this list. I'm just going down this list. Of course, Yugo cars. Uh, the Bricklin SV1. So
I
the
don't know that.
Bricklin was promised, of course, 74 through 76, promised to be a safety vehicle. The SV1 was overpriced, unreliable, and plagued with quality issues despite the gull wing doors and fantastic looks. The outcome of this bankrupted Malcolm Bricklin's company after just 3 years.
Damn.
Seems like I've seen a little bit of that, like especially the stuff being really, really cheap. And I think that goes hand in hand with the Yugo.
Yeah, I would
Like,
agree.
Donut did a whole video on the Yugo, and it was pretty entertaining. I think they got on the freeway trying to hit like freeway speed like 70 miles an hour, and I can't remember how long it took them just to get to like 60, and I think the thing almost blew up. I think the trans blew up on it actually,
Oh my god.
just getting overspun. Let's see. Oh wow, DeLorean's on this list, and of course it's the DMC 12. So, while it's not a scam in design, John DeLorean tried to save his failing company through cocaine struggled scheme, ultimately leading to bankruptcy.
Yeah, that's a crazy story in of itself. If you
Really?
don't know that one, yeah.
I don't.
You need to like YouTube that sometime.
Really? So John DeLorean struggled with drug use and bankrupted his company?
I mean, definitely struggled with drug use and using drugs and like moving them to make money, I believe is what he was doing.
What's messed up is the DeLorean, we'll just go ahead and call it what it is, even though it's the automaker. We know what we're talking about. The That car became popular after Back to the Future already came out. The company had
Yeah.
done collapsed. It's so sad. It's so terrible. Uh, I got a scandal on the Hummer here. Uh, the Hummer H2 gas mileage claims in the early 2000s. So it was marketed to be a rugged off-road vehicle. Of course, we knew that it's a Hummer. It was criticized for having abysmal gas mileage. I mean, I could have told you that thing's a brick. I mean, it's a house. Critics saw the symbol of wasteful engineering. Hummer brand discontinued in 2010, although it has since been revised as an EV. I think that was a smart move by Hummer, though, to switch to EV. I mean,
I like the EV. I ain't gonna lie.
I do too. Don't
I've,
they have the crab steer too, or
yeah,
crab walk, whatever? Yeah,
we had
I
one at
don't
the dealer one time.
don't know how often you would use that. I mean, I see videos of them like parallel parking, but I don't. I mean, how often do you find yourself parallel parking?
True.
It is a cool feature. Don't get me wrong, but in my eyes, as you know, I mean, I'm more like as Jordan's eyes as a mechanic is just something else to mess up and charge you an arm and a leg to fix or not fix, like my 4-wheel drive.
I
so
like
that
it, but it's definitely a market. Like if one of theirs breaks, they gonna get another. Like they got that kind of money.
Oh, absolutely. This I almost wonder if it's talking about our ignitions and our Camaros. It's a GM ignition switch recall twins.
Yeah, it is.
It is. It's with the key fob getting
So
bumped.
same anything with the key that ours has.
Okay, so
So
that's okay.
Malibu, I think Cruise,
Yeah,
Traverse, like all of them.
it was from the key fob getting like bumped with your knee or whatever and disabling or turning off the car, like the ignition switch being very easy to turn back, basically. I mean that's what I understood the issue to be. Maybe you heard it differently,
I'm pretty
but that's
sure
what I
it's your
understood it to be.
ignition switch like
Not your
failing.
key. Okay.
Yeah, your key going into the switch, and it would wiggle over time. If you had stuff on your chain, like a bunch of keys or something heavy,
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah.
it would
Yeah, we're on
wiggle
the
it
same
over
page.
time, going up and down from hitting bumps in the road and wear it out.
I also heard that some users, like especially in our cars, where if you're taller, your knees very well could touch the column. That people's knees were like bumping the ignition switch, and that was all it would take to go ahead and roll that key back into the off position or in the run position.
No, that's not the issue. Is hitting it back in a run.
Oh, really?
It
So
was
it's
the
like,
switch wearing out.
oh, I see.
You can
Okay.
always turn it to run. That's a feature.
I'm talking about like while they're driving, like it turns
Yeah,
off the engine.
turning it in run won't. Turning it
Oh,
off
well,
would.
okay. Well, that's what I meant, turning it all the way
Yeah.
off. I know. I thought that I understood that was the issue. Was people were like, like you said, the key fob was getting weighted down
Nah,
and wasn't
anyone
taking.
turning their engine off driving.
Yeah,
That
I've
don't
done that.
happen.
I've done that one time, and it was my fault too because I had a really long lanyard on my key, and I can't remember if it got wrapped up around my leg. I think it was under my leg, and I just scooted over enough just for it to pull the key back off. Turned everything off while I was driving down the road. I'm like, all right, let's go ahead and kick that back on.
Yeah.
You gotta watch having like lanyard and stuff on your keychain. It's real dangerous. It really
Yeah, you
is.
still got steering, but
Yeah, but I mean, it's still like,
if the key comes out, you'll call them a lock though. So
dude, that's how my key got bent real bad in the Dakota. From like I said, that happened, and ever since that happened, I threw my lanyard over my column. That's probably really unsafe
I
too.
never have a lanyard.
Yeah, I
Nothing
just have it
big.
because I lose keys too often. But anyways, I think I was trying to pull my key out, and I didn't realize I had it in the column, and I just kept yanking on it. No, dude, my lanyard got wrapped around my steering wheel. That's what it was, and I'm like, what is
Oh my
causing it? Like
god.
I just kept like turning. I'm like, you're gonna go like full on like Tyler, like I'm gonna show you. And yeah, it bent the key. I was like, all right, I probably should have calmed down a little bit.
God bless, son.
Yeah, that's right. I couldn't remember. I remember now. Yeah, it got wrapped up around the steering column. That was rough. Don't put lanyards on your keys, kids. Well, unless you got one of those remotes, that's fine. But poor people like me, we still got a key in ignitions.
Oh, that's fine, baby.
Yeah, the Dakota for sure. I mean, well, yeah, my fifth gen too. Even though it's a
Yeah.
14, is still just before the push button stuff. I guess it's not because 2015 still had it, but 2016, six
I mean,
gens.
they had it in 2005.
Yeah, I mean Corvette's had it for a long time. Yeah, uh, let's see. I got a Chrysler scam here. Chrysler TC by Maserati said the scam marketed as a luxury collaboration between Chrysler and Maserati. That sounds like a problem child. It was more than It was a little more than a rebadged Chrysler LeBron with a larger price tag and fewer Maserati components. Jeez, that sounds
Sounds about
horrible.
right.
God, that sounds like a Chrysler 300. Like it's a Bentley, but it's not.
For real.
What's
I
it with
mean,
Chrysler?
you gotta look at stuff before you buy it too. Some people just don't do that. Can you
Yeah.
imagine dropping the money on that without even get in it, look at it? Does it look like it's worth that much money?
Yeah, I like how I think it was you or Tyler taught me that like whenever cars have like we'll say you got like the base model, those buttons are still there for the cool stuff, but they don't work. So you called
Yeah.
them poverty buttons.
Yeah.
I love that so much. You got poverty buttons. I imagine that's what that car is. It's just nothing but like buttons that don't work. It's supposed to be a Maserati, but it's not. let's see. We can go ahead and move over to our gaming stuff. So I got
Oh,
a few.
well, hey, I
What is
got
it?
one more scam.
Okay, go for it.
Never go to a dealer and get a induction service.
Okay,
You
why
don't
is
need
that?
it. You don't need it. That
What's an
shit.
induction service? Cleaning out the air filter?
No, it's supposedly it's supposed to help clean carbon buildup off the valves, and
Oh,
uh,
jeez, that.
some shops may actually do it good, but all the shops I've ever been at, yeah, we do. We add it to your engine oil, your gas, and we do the. I don't even know if we do it anymore actually, but we did, and then you have your pipe going to the intake, your little nozzle, and it
Yeah.
would you would run it and you would turn it to a certain pressure or open the valve a certain amount. I can't remember what it was anymore. But you'd have to run the car at a certain RPM too because it could kill it because it's like adding extra fuel to it.
Huh. Yeah.
And, it's supposed to clean the valves as you run it. I never scoped one, so I actually couldn't tell you.
So potentially a scam.
Yeah, potentially. It just depends on where you go. Go somewhere you know does it and does it the right way.
Speaking of the build up stuff, I seen this video a while ago and it re-popped up. It was of Dave's Auto Center, which I love watching.
Yeah,
He's really entertaining. It's not even entertaining, it's just educational. But
for
he was
sure.
showing me that he had in a Air Force, I don't remember if it was F-350 or F-250, but it
Oh
had
yeah,
this 6.7 in it, and
yeah, and I
it
had
came
the
from the factory
block
deleted.
offs. Yep.
Yeah. And it's like, why aren't they putting this in? I guess because it's used off road only, supposedly,
Yeah,
but
that's why.
it's just like the importance of how well the valves look on a deleted truck compared to what they look like on a emissions truck. It's insane the amount of carbon buildup that you get behind those valves.
Yeah, you gotta
I
run
mean,
EGR and just recirc all that nasty shit through your engine.
like breathing through a like clogged air filter.
It's like breathing in your own fart, man. Like
Oh my god,
you're done taking in what you already took in.
that's terrible. Uh, all right, let's get into some of these gaming things. A lot of these are from our lifetime, but there's one way before us. Of course, me or you would not know about this, but the in 1982, the ET, extraterrestrial Atari game came out. It said, which is kind of shocking that this is going on in the 80s because we still deal with this to this day. Atari rushed the development of the game, resulting in poor design, nearly unplayable game. Atari produced cartridges based on the movie's popularity. Millions of unsold cartridges were famously buried in a landfill, symbolizing the 1983 video game crash.
I think I did hear about that at one point, but that's been
That's
forever.
That's crazy. Like, yeah, we still deal with that to this day. That's insane.
Yeah, nothing's changed. It's like trends, they come around, and
Yeah.
this one just came back around.
I wonder how much, I wonder if there's any value in those if you actually had a copy of that game. I'm sure it would be worth something to a collector, maybe. Especially if they destroyed all the copies, unsold copies. I mean, I wonder
Yeah.
how many made it to hands. I guess some diehard ET fans probably, or Atari fans really would want their hands on that.
Ooh, I can't play it.
Yeah. Okay, so number 2 on this list is, of course, Cyberpunk's launch, which is very, very
Sheesh.
notorious. I mean, it'll probably go down in gaming history for the worst launch in history.
It was so hyped too.
I mean, it was so bad that they were having to do like they were having lawsuits pressed against
Yeah,
them.
and it's crazy that they actually stuck with that game and kept on it. That's pretty rare nowadays.
Yeah, because I mean that game I'm sure is review bombed to not even being salvageable ever again with how bad it was. I mean I think Battlefield's still mixed, and it was like bad for a long time. It wasn't even mixed. It was like would not recommend. So they're just now bouncing off the mixed category.
It's still mixed. I'm looking right now.
It's just so hard to bounce back from a bad launch. I wish games would learn from this and take their time with games, but who are we? They're going to do it regardless every time.
I mean, it just is what it is. And I think it kind of goes both ways. We get a bad product, we don't buy it, so they don't do too hot.
Yeah.
Unless
Uh,
it's COD.
yeah, Call of Duty. It's just like an abusive relationship at this point. You know, I wouldn't have been mad if I bought Black Ops 6. I really enjoy that game. It's one of the better games we've seen in the last like decade from Call of Duty. I,
Cyberpunk is very positive right now.
oh wow, they turned it around then.
Dude, I'm telling you, I've seen some people say it's really good now.
Well, I heard the most issues were happening on like last gen consoles. So I'm sure PC didn't see quite the issue. I'm sure they did, but not quite as much. I mean, they literally temporarily removed it from the PlayStation Store. It was that bad.
That is insane.
Like, you imagine what a publisher would have to go through to remove it off the store? I mean, that's embarrassing. It might have
That's
been the
like,
move. It might have removed all the bad reviews. I don't know. Kind of like taking a
yeah.
post down and reposting it. Yeah, it didn't work out. Let's try this again next time. Uh,
2.0.
No Man's Sky. We talked about
Oh,
it a
yeah.
little bit last time,
Jeez,
or
dude.
whenever we brought that up.
I
I
was
mean,
watching a video about that recently,
yeah. What'd
like
you
the
find
other
out about it?
day.
I don't know
Oh,
that
I
much
already
about it.
knew. But, the CEO, when this game was, like, getting unveiled, this dude, I think it's, what's his name? I want to say it's a dude who did Fallout too, like
Oh,
76.
part of
Like it's the
Bethesda?
same dude.
Is it a part of Bethesda?
No, I don't think so. Gareth Bourne. No.
Okay.
Yeah, Gareth Bourne. This dude, uh, no, Sean Murray. Okay, yeah. This guy overpromised the piss out of this game. They was interviewing him like a year before that, like they just released that they were coming out with it. And he's already talking like there's gonna be 14 billion planets or whatever, quintillion, like something crazy. And you're gonna go to all of them and they're all gonna be unique and different. And it will actually take you years to travel. And they're saying it's multiplayer too, right? Like you could go meet people, you could grief them. Well,
Yeah.
it turns out the game ain't even multiplayer when it comes out. And this dude's out here saying you can do all this. And the game's just riddled with bugs, and he just lied about a lot. So that was like no redemption for him.
Yeah. It says the developers redeem themselves over time with substantial free updates, but I mean, I feel like that's a stretch. I mean,
I wouldn't know.
what update? I mean, I don't know. I guess people are accustomed to paying for these stupid packs now because of Call of Duty and all these stupid AAA games. So I guess a free update is a thing now. Back in our day of playing, an update was an update.
Yeah,
There wasn't no such thing as having to pay for content.
I remember when
Other
that update was like something new to the game, and you're like, oh shit,
Yeah. Yeah,
gotta check
right?
this
It just
out.
like changed the game entirely. I know Fallout 76 I heard a lot about. Like, I wasn't a Fallout fan whenever it came out, but I heard that there was like no NPCs in the world. There was like so many bugs, no optimization. There was like cheap, like I think they had like a collector's edition and it included like a nylon bag, but it was supposed to be like advertised as like a nice like canvas like collector bag.
Yeah, I remember that.
It gave me a dang drawstring.
Yeah, for real, bro.
that's like a that's like Modern Warfare 3 giving out the night vision goggles, but it's really just like a green flashlight on a
For
headband.
real.
Some
But
binoculars.
yeah, dude, I can't. I think that was probably the worst one this decade. I can't imagine something being worse.
I
Unless
yeah.
GTA 6 flops, I just can't see nothing being worse.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything on this list in particular that's like notably worse than that. I mean, the CS:GO Lotto stuff was pretty wild, but that was kind of
That
wild
was
in a
more than
different
just
way.
CSGO too. And you know what's crazy about that is, CSGO, Steam Market is owned CSGO's owned by Valve, which is who owns Steam.
Right.
Steam owns. So I was watching a thing about this too, is CSGO originally had that whole scandal with the gambling and creators, secretly owning part of the website or, whatever gambling site it was.
Yeah.
Well, Steam put out like cease and desist and shut down maybe one or two, but most of them that were under flame are still open today. And people are very suspicious of Steam, being like, yeah, the right thing is to take it down, but we're also profiting from everyone buying it because they're the ones who originally initially even started the whole market. So in a way, they're the ones making the most profit off of it too.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm seeing here, and this is the like headline is YouTubers promoted a gambling site for Counter-Strike Global Offensive skins without disclosing they own the site, targeting young audiences. So they
Yeah.
were purposely targeting young audiences. That is insane. Legal investigations into the gambling practice in games calls for striker regulations or stricter. I mean, that's insane to like prey on like young people like that. It's
See,
so crazy.
I don't look at it as like preying on them. It's like they're doing what gets some views. To
Yeah,
them,
that's
that's
true.
all it is. They're not like preying on them, I would say, but definitely they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But
Seems like
Valve should be under some suspicion too, really, if you think
yeah.
about it.
That's what I was gonna say. It seems like they would be pointing more fingers at Valve
Yeah,
than the
everyone loves
creators.
Valve though. I mean, I love Steam, but it's a little shitty.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Another one I'm seeing here, of course, this is rolling it back a little bit, but I mean, this is directly calling out the Wii U, and I know the Wii itself just like kind of it was good for its time, but it kind of fell off. But apparently, the Wii U had a marketing disaster in 2012. It reads that the scam, while not an intentional scam, Nintendo's poor messaging led to many customers to think the Wii U was just an add-on for the Wii instead of a new console. His lack of third-party support and weakened the launch lineup didn't help. So I guess people were under the impression that, kind of like the Kinect, you could just add it onto your 360, that the Wii U was just an add-on.
So they bought a whole console.
Yeah, so this,
Why
of
would you be
course,
mad?
this resulted to like Nintendo being the Wii U being one of the worst selling consoles, and they were forced to pivot to the Nintendo Switch. So they dropped the Wii U insanely fast, which explains why I never really heard much about the Wii U outside of when it was originally advertised in 2012.
Yeah,
Which I don't really necessarily see as a bad thing, because if you look at the success of the Nintendo Switch, I mean, Nintendo kind of took over that handheld market, which they already
oh,
owned to begin with. But I mean, the PSP, it was gone in no time.
dude, that shit was so good though.
It was, but like they just dropped that market. They were just like, here you go, Nintendo, have fun.
I
And
really want to
isn't
get a Steam Deck when we
I was
talk
gonna
about
say, isn't it kind
handhelds.
of is it kind of wild to see handhelds coming back like with the Steam Deck?
Dude, Steam Deck seems dope.
It
Play
does.
Black Ops 3 on that thing. I'm about to take one to work.
It seems like it can handle a lot of big games. Like I heard of people playing like a golly, I don't remember if it was Cyberpunk or no, it was Battlefield 2042. They said that thing sound no, it was Elden Ring. He said it was running Elden Ring, but it sounded like a helicopter taking off because the fans was working OT.
Fan gotta do what they gotta do.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as long as it's cooling, it's working. It might wear out a fan at some point,
Put
but
some ice, like intercooler, makeshift intercooler for
yeah,
it.
put a bigger fan on it, liquid cool.
Have a ice cool air.
Did you know anything about this Diablo scam?
The game franchise?
Yeah, it's saying the Diablo Immortal monetization scandal. Blizzard's mobile game Diablo Immortal has negatively criticized for predatory microtransactions. Players calculated a maximum out of character cost of $100,000.
God bless.
It says poor. The outcome of that was poor reception, of course, on hardcore fans
I
throughout
bet.
the gaming. Yeah, I've never really been big into those MMOs. Or golly, is it technically an MMO? I might be talking out of my.
I don't think it is.
But it's like a Diablo and PoE Path of Exile. I got a buddy that is like big into that right now, and I don't know if it's something you guys would want to hear about. I mean, I can definitely get one of those guys on because they could go on and on about that. It's a role playing game, so if I don't know, I've never really been big into that style game, but yeah, if for some reason you
It's
guys
like
was
an
interested,
RPG, pretty much. I don't know what
yeah,
else you'd call it.
yeah, RPG, yeah, definitely role playing game. He showed me which they're wanting me to play it so bad for some reason. I don't know why. I'm just like, I don't. He's like, I got a free code. I'm like, dude. I was like, don't waste it. I probably ain't gonna like it. But he was showing me the skill tree on that game, and I swear, dude, if you think Skyrim's was insane, this skill tree looks like spaghetti. Like straight up, like you got to zoom in, zoom out. Like it is insane.
Huh.
It's a lot to get into. I find myself getting overwhelmed by games like that. Like I like just a simple, slow start.
Yeah, I
Or
could agree, but I don't know. I might be able to get into it.
maybe it. I don't know if it's for me or not. I
If
have
it's
time.
competitive, I can get into it.
I heard golly, I heard League is really competitive, which me and
Oh
you've
yeah,
played it before.
it's one of the most competitive games ever.
Pretty sweaties.
I can definitely get more into it, no doubt.
I have a hard time playing top downs. I mean,
I might re-download it now that you mention it. It kind of making me want to play it.
I can have a hard time getting into top down games for sure. Especially like that. I think the closest I get to playing a top down game is like Dead Ops Arcade.
Hmm. Dead
Uh,
Ops is dope.
oh, it is.
Underrated.
I really wish it was in Black Ops 6. I hope they plan on adding it in at some point because
It's
this is
crazy
kind of
they didn't have it.
it's like the first COD game to not have Dead Ops Arcade. Well, no, I don't know. Did Black Ops
Cold War.
four or Cold War? They might not have had it either. Which 4, of course, didn't have zombies at all, so it wouldn't have had it. I don't know if Black Ops
4
4
had
had it or
zombies.
not. Black Ops 4, Dead Ops. So apparently it is in there. It's hidden. So okay, that's cool. You got to play it on like some CIA computer. That's cool.
Hmm.
See, yeah, it's kind of shocking to see Black Ops 6 not have it. Oh well. I guess that's really all I've got. I was gonna kind of hype up the gaming tournament, but yeah, I mean it is what it's gonna be. I'm excited. I'm ready.
I
I gotta
don't
buy.
think you're ready.
I don't think you're ready. I gotta get you a copy of Isaac. I don't know if it's still on sale or not. I have to check. If not, it's like a really cheap game. I'm not really worried about it. But
Your boy
yeah.
gonna be doing pretty good on Castle Miner.
Oh my god, I forgot. Yeah, you picked Castle.
I don't know if you know the strats or not.
So are we gonna do two separate solo runs then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh man, I'm fired up. All right, a little bit of a shorter episode for you guys, but we just kind of wanted to fill you guys in and hope you guys stay warm if you're in our area. We're gonna, you know, you never know with the weather here, especially if you've been here for a while.
They're saying 5 inches.
We might get 5 inches. We might just get some snow and rain like we got Monday. Who knows? You never know with this stupid weather here. They
No,
say
we
one
definitely
thing.
getting snow.
You think
The
so?
conditions are right. I was watching.
The ground is cold.
It's perfect freezing temperatures for snow, and then there's a big front coming, and it's carrying a bunch of humidity.
That's
So
what I was telling my wife. She was like, how am I going to get to work? And I'm like, well, at this point, I said, I think your car is about probably better than the truck with it being front wheel drive and the truck having no 4-wheel drive. I said, I don't think it's
yeah,
far behind because
I
I got
agree.
some nice tires. I said, the truck's more or less going to be better for if I get off the road, I'll probably be able to get back on the road pretty easily. But getting off the road is going to be the major thing to
Getting
avoid doing.
Staying on the road will be hard, and it is the problem.
Yeah, getting back, as long as I don't hit nothing, getting back on the road won't be the issue.
That's like driving Miata like at 120 miles an hour and never stopping.
Oh my god.
Like it takes a minute to get there, but once it's there,
It's
it's balls to the wall.
there.
Like that's how you have to drive the Dakota in the snow.
Oh, it is. It does. Whenever I drive her car for a while, I'm like, golly, this thing is like no power, no acceleration at all. The Dakota is just like, I'm getting up there. And then I drive my car and I'm like, the Dakota could not pull like a cardboard box down the road. It's just, there's so much difference in the three
Nah, that
vehicles that I
Dakota,
drive.
I'd pull more than that Camaro.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Oh, it's got a towing capacity of 4,000 pounds. It's not bad, but
And you could probably do that with a Camaro if you really wanted.
yeah, it probably the frame would hate you for sure. I mean, if you got the torque to do it, I mean, long as you leave out slow and don't rip your frame in half, depending on how heavy you're
Yeah, I
pulling.
can't imagine stopping faster.
He might stretch that thing out to a Corvette Stingray whenever
Yeah,
you
dude.
take off.
Gonna be built like a Viper.
Oh man. Yeah, guys, that's all we have for today. Like I said, be sure to follow the Snapchat and be looking for that live stream. If we don't do it this time, we'll do it next weekend for sure. And with that being said, guys, oh yeah, make sure you tune into that Drag Drive podcast, Drag and Drive Repeat podcast to see us on there. With that being said, guys, we will catch you in the next one.